Well, hello there. Welcome to the Obi-Thorn Alliance. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Luke. We are the YouTube channel that offers the opinion from two different perspectives. We've got that of someone on the autism spectrum and that of someone who is not. If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We bring out new videos multiple times throughout the week. And what are we doing in today's video, Jacob?
We're doing our top 5 favourite Disney Plus shows, what I think will be an interesting list.
Yes, it's an interesting one, this one. We've got a few rules that we had to work out beforehand because Disney Plus has bought and acquired a lot of different content and other companies. So we had to work out where we drew the line, and we've agreed that it is something that has to be originally released on Disney Plus. It can't be something that's transitioned over. So, for instance, The Simpsons, which is transitioned over and is on Disney Plus, does not count because it obviously came out a very long time ago on Fox, so it's not going to be included. So it has to be something basically new that came out exclusively to the app. So who should go first? You or I?
You can go first.
Okay, well, I'll go first. So in 5th place, I have gone with WandaVision.
Okay.
So WandaVision is obviously part of Marvel. And I really, really enjoyed WandaVision. At first, I was a bit suspect of where it was going or what it was going to be about. The previews and teasers before it came out made it seem very odd and unappealing. I was really late to the party with WandaVision. I watched it quite a while after it came out, and I really liked it. I think it's one of the coolest projects Marvel has taken on, and as a show, the way they did each episode is unique and not like anything else. It's is one of my, even though it falls 5th on the list, it's one of my favorite things I've probably ever seen, just in the way it's done so uniquely. So that's my number 5. What do you got at number 5?
That was a very good one to start off with. My number 5 is Big Shots. And I really like this show because it's to do with basketball, and instead of a typical coach coaching males, this show is about coaching females, and I think it's a really interesting aspect to do. Not a lot of TV or movies deal with this concept. I really like that aspect of it. Unfortunately, the basketball aspect, when they actually play basketball, isn't really that good, but the show itself is still a good show. I would highly recommend that you watch it for the coaching aspect. I really think it did a really good job, and it got renewed for season 2, and I hope it gets better and bigger and better storylines.
I've gone with the same for number 4. I've gone with Big Shot. I watched it before Jake and recommended it to him. I really liked it. I think the acting in it's great. I think it really captures the essence of a Disney show from yesteryears, but a bit more serious. And I guess it's kind of capturing, these young females in like a wealthy area that haven't. It kind of captures the adversities that they face that might be a bit different than other areas. I think that the main character, he does a really awesome job. I believe it's John Stamos who's the main character. Having the basketball element is good, but it's not the main focus. It actually takes up very little of the show. But I just think the premise of it, he's an ex-coach that had a lot of success at college level, but had a poor temper, has now resulted to having to be a coach at a high school team. And then he's also using it as an excuse to, rekindle his relationship with his daughter. So it just has a lot of cool elements to it. So it's number 4 for me, Big Shot.
Number 4 for me is Only Murder in the Building, what is still on Disney Plus, but the star content. So really enjoyed that it deals with the podcast side of murdering, and I think the 3 main characters just have the charisma and the charm. I think it definitely is a well-made detective murder mystery. If you like that sort of show, I think it does a really good job, and it's getting a season 2, so I think it definitely deserves watching. And I think the crime itself is interesting as well. You're trying to come to your conclusion of who you think it actually is, and you keep guessing and you're trying to work it out, and eventually I did, but not straight away. Well, I think I personally like that about the show. I think if you like the main cast and if you like most murder mysteries, I think it's definitely worth watching.
It's something that's on my list to watch. I haven't got around to it yet. It has a very star-studded cast, and from what you've explained, the concept sounds cool. Maybe I need to see a trailer or something just to convince me to start watching it. But I think I will now that there is a second season. It gives me more incentive to give it more of a chance. So number 3, I've gone with the limited series. I've gone with The Dropout. So this is a show inspired by true events and what was a podcast and now turned into a show. Again, it's part of that Star network that's moved to Disney+. We've got Amanda Seyfried as the main character, who plays a character, Elizabeth Holmes, who I wasn't aware of what had happened, but I guess if I was in America, I may have known a bit more about her. She was a kind of a intelligent female prodigy that dropped out of Stanford to pursue this idea that she had about creating a company that could test blood on the spot and give you instant results with just a little blood prick instead of a big vial of blood, as she has trouble with needles and doesn't enjoy that. The theory sounds amazing. The envision she had was great, but the only problem is it wasn't possible. But she managed to convince lots and lots of people to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in this and create a very, very real company that eventually led to her demise when it came out that she couldn't actually deliver the thing that she'd promised, and she's in quite a lot of trouble for what she did. So it's a really cool, true story, and through watching it, seeing the way that she went about things, how she was such a poor leader at times, but then also able to convince the right people, and the kind of luck she had throughout her career to actually get away with this, that she'd convinced people that this machine that didn't work was real, even though no one had ever seen it work. It's you wouldn't believe it if it wasn't true, let's put it that way. So it's a really cool limited series that I enjoyed watching.
Going with the same trend as Luke with limited series, my number 3 is Dope Sick. This one didn't realize how bad the academic was with this drug that a lot of Americans used, and it just makes you, watching it, really educated me with how bad it actually was. This drug, with how corrupt America is and how bad it was. Excellently played by Michael Keaton as this doctor that is, a good human being, and then he becomes addicted to it himself, and then you see the journey throughout with these people, the salesmen all throughout the show, the rich family, how much money they made just throughout the storyline. I just think it's one of the best limited series that I've seen, and I'm so glad that this drug didn't reach Australia, because it wrecked so many lives and so many people, and I can't believe that it was able to be made, that people were able to get it without this prescription.
That's again on the top of my list of things I want to watch. Again, I really like true stories and a big fan of limited series, and I'd like to see what all the fuss is about this show. So good choice there. At number 2, which might come as a bit of surprise, I've gone with Loki.
Okay.
So I think most people have seen Loki. If you haven't, probably should watch it. It really sets the scene for what's going to happen moving forward in the Marvel Universe. In terms of a show, it's probably the most entertaining and well done Marvel show so far by a long shot. It's better than quite a lot of the movies, to be honest, and it's just a lot of fun. Loki, a character I didn't care much for in the movies, but has a huge fan base. I now see why people liked him so much, and I think the element of what Owen Wilson brought into the show really topped it off. So I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's my number 2, and I think Jacob might have it a bit higher than me.
My number 2 is The Mandalorian, and I think this show is lovely loved, and I think the Baby Yoda and the Mando himself are such a good combo, and I really enjoyed the Star Wars elements of the bounty hunter life, and I don't think this show appeals for everyone, but I do think it's worth watching. I definitely do have to say though, as season 1, the more I think about it, I just think season 1 wasn't as good as season 2, and I think that's the reason why Luke didn't enjoy it as much. And I think to bring people in, you need to make season 1 a stand. Now, if season 2 is better than season 1, you need to make season 1 better. But that's my only criticism. I think Mandalorian is definitely, for most people, probably their number 1, but I just think the show that's number 1 is better. I just think it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, I think, is a better Star Wars show because I like the character more, but for some people, they just love Mando. I think that's understandable, but I just feel like there's more loved and time with Obi-Wan, and I just think The Mandalorian has done for some people what I guess the prequels and The New Hope has done for others. So yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't quite get into The Mandalorian. I kind of got late to the party and missed all the hype around it, and then just I'm not a huge I really do like Star Wars, but I kind of only like it if it's it's the main thing. Once you start getting those offshoot stories, it kind of loses me there. So I didn't probably give it as much of a chance as others have, so it didn't make the list for me. Number 1, do you want to try and have a guess what I picked? Because I reckon you probably have no idea at this point.
Mighty Ducks Game Changers?
No, it's not. That's a good guess though, because I do really like Mighty Ducks. That's an honourable mention for me. It was a good show, but not quite. I've actually gone with High School, the musical, the series.
Okay.
Which is a very tongue twister of a title, but this show is a very meta show. So for anyone that's liked High School Musical and grew up watching those, you probably like this show because it's awesome. If you do, if you didn't grow up watching High School Musical, you probably have zero interest in this. So the interesting thing about this show is so in the world of High School Musical, you've got Zac Efron and not Selena Gomez, Jennifer Hudson. Yeah, so we've got those two. They're the main characters. They are in this high school. Within the movie, they're singing, dancing. It's a musical. So this show is set supposedly in the real world where they are fans of this movie, but they go to the school in which the movie was filmed at, and they are doing a musical based on the movie that they like. So it's very confusing, but it's a lot of fun. It's a teen drama. It involves singing, but not in the sense of like a musical where they break out and sing for no reason. They actually, when they sing, people know they're singing because they're actually doing a musical like as part of their school like curriculum. Has a lot of young stars in there that are up and coming, and Olivia Rodriguez would be the most well-known character on there, who is probably one of the most famous female singers in the world at the moment. So it's a really, really fun show for those that are fans of either music or High School Musical. If you like the original series, you'll really like this. It's very fun. So what have you got at number 1?
Do you think it's surprising?
No, I think it's Loki.
Yes, of course. Loki is my number 1. I just think out of all the shows and movies, this one has turned around a character that we already loved. And I know a lot of people don't like the show because of that, but for myself, I just loved how they switched around the character, because you do have to remember, for people, for this show, is actually a different version because it's the multiverse. We get introduced to different aspects, and I just love how we get introduced to Mobius as Owen Wilson and their chemistry, and then we get introduced to Kang, and then we get introduced to the TVA. So many cool things. And out of all the MCU shows, this is getting its season 2, and I think that shows why it's the best show for Marvel, and I think it's the best show on Disney Plus. And season 2 could just wreck it, and the good stuff that happened in season 1 could just fall apart. But I don't think that will happen. I think season 2 will be as strong as season 1, and hopefully we'll get to see some more Lokis, and Tom Hiddleston still wants to do more seasons.
I hope so. It's been very good. It's almost the most pivotal Marvel thing that's happened out of out of all the movies and shows. It seems to be the most pivotal moving forward, and it being a TV series is massive.
And I still have to give it credit for a TV show introducing a villain. I can't think of any TV show to do that. To me, that's amazing.
No, it's very good. Let's get into some honourable mentions, because there's a few that didn't make the list. So you mentioned Mighty Ducks Game Changer. Again, I like that. We've got the nostalgia fact of bringing back a show or a movie that I grew up loving. It was a very good show. I am enjoying it, but it's just a bit more childish than some of the others. So if I had to, one of the reasons why I picked my number 1 is I thought about, I was like, which show, if there's a new episode that came out of any of these shows tomorrow, which would I be most excited and I'd watch first? And I thought, I would pick High School Musical. So that's why I put it number 1. So if I was doing a list, Mighty Ducks Game Changer, if they all brought out new episodes tomorrow, it wouldn't make the list. So that's why it's an honourable mention for me. Good show. I'm just not as excited about some of the others.
Any other honourable mentions?
I'm enjoying Obi-Wan. We're not finished it yet. I think it will make the top 5 if we would do this in the future. It's just, I don't know where on the list yet, because there's still 2 episodes to go. It could either be number 1 or it could be number 5. That's the only reason. I just would be unfair to give it a ranking before it's done. And
Turner and Hooch?
Yeah, Turner and Hooch was fine. It didn't get renewed. It was an okay show, but I can see why it didn't get renewed. It maybe deserved another season, but I guess we didn't really get a conclusion to what was happening in that series, which kind of sucks. But it was entertaining. I don't know if I'd say it was good. A lot of coincidences and annoying play between the 2 characters that you just felt were desperate to end up together, but we never get to find out.
Yeah.
For yourself, what are some honourable mentions?
Definitely WandaVision. I was torn between Dope Sick and WandaVision, and I was thinking WandaVision, but I thought about it. I just think Dope Sick meant more. It's a true story. It actually happened. And then WandaVision, I was already choosing a Marvel show, so I thought WandaVision is still good, but it wasn't as good as Loki. I still recommend watching WandaVision. The more I think about it, I just think WandaVision wasn't as good as Loki. It's definitely the second best Marvel show at the moment, but when you're making lists, you gotta be harsh sometimes. And other honourable mentions is Mighty Ducks Game Changers. I really enjoyed that, but the main coach from all the movies and films isn't going to be in season 2, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
They also made him unlikable, which I don't enjoy, because throughout the movies he was a likable character, and they've kind of turned him into an old grumpy man, which kind of ruins a little bit of it. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I guess that's a good list.
Yeah, so as I said, Disney Plus has lots of content, with Star acquired onto it. There's heaps of new things coming out. One that I'm enjoying that's new is How I Met Your Father. The first season was okay, but they're building, and I think the second season could be good. So it's not going to get an honourable mention, but it's worth giving a watch, because if you show support to it, then maybe it will get more seasons going forward. And there's a few things that I need to watch that you've recommended, and Dope Sick is definitely one of those, and Only Murders in the Building.
Well, thank you for watching. If you like YouTube channels with 2 different perspectives, like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.